How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Grid 2019, and this time we should start doing the DLCs. Well, I started yesterday. I mean that the stream will already start with the DLCs that so far seem pretty unimpressive, really. To say the least, I will say that they are borderline a scam, but maybe that's a little bit too mean. Okay, hold up. Are we actually gonna do Formula 1? Okay, never mind. This DLC is amazing. Oh, and there's even a grid edition of this thing. Like on top of the Alonso one. That's pretty cool. But wait, what happens if you purchase this? Can you actually change the colors? You can actually change the livery, so you don't need to use that one. But yeah, you're pretty limited on... Oh, never mind, you're not limited. I'm surprised they are allowed to do that. Usually, Formula 1 tends to be very restrictive about what you are allowed to use, but this one just has many options, which is pretty cool. Which one could I pick? I didn't really check that many of these designs at all, but one of these could be nice, maybe. Especially since it's a Formula 1 car, I kinda want to make it look a little bit special. I don't know. Promise that some of this I could do this one, for example. That doesn't seem any special really, but I'll take it. I almost selected the grid one. All that time wasted for nothing. So the grid one also looks nice, so I could have. This is what surprises me about the game. The fact that this car was only used in one event, and now the fact that it's used more makes a lot of sense. Wait, is this a... I wasn't paying attention to the track. Isn't this a Pang? Well, nice how these two guys completely block me. Hey, it is a Pang, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Well, it's the North track, so it's not the whole thing, but it still has the typical fast straight into very slow corner. Okay, that was a little bit of a rough start, but winning with these cars can be an issue if the AI is actually competent. Because obviously going fast with these things is not easy. If the AI was incompetent, it will be whatever, but if the AI actually can fight back properly, yeah, it is an issue. Yeah, the AI is competent with these things, so I might have trouble winning this. I mean, I guess the Pang also doesn't help because it's not that easy of a track, but will be worse. I mean, if this was Okutama, it will be way worse. Okay. So as expected, the engine on this thing is very loud. Like, very, very loud. So the first place is obviously gone. I mean, the fact that I'm second is already a lie in itself. Like, the fact that I just dive bomb and I ended up here is just pure illegal maneuvers on my side, but also, you know, luck that I didn't take myself out in the process. I'm surprised that they also put this here, considering that it doesn't seem pretty related to what they were going for before this, in this DLC campaign. But hey, I'm not complaining because, as I say, I think the game needs more of this. But it's pretty hard with AI that is competent. It's not an easy task to win this. So what's the second one, by the way? Hey, what do we have next? It's in Silverstone reverse. Yeah, but why reverse though? Like, why isn't it the normal one? It's fine. Also, honestly, knowing that everyone else uses other skins, I should have used the Alonso skin. Like, I actually like the Alonso skin. I thought they were all gonna use it, so it's like I wanted something different, but no, everyone uses their own stuff, so I think that the next time this shows up, assuming there is a next time, I wanna use the Alonso skin. Because it's a very pretty one. Though it will also be pretty to use any of the other official ones, but they are not in the game. Like, maybe you will have to replicate them yourself. Like, yeah, for example, using the Ferrari skin or the McLaren skin, right? Well, Ferrari probably shouldn't be that hard to replicate in terms of color. Like, you just paint it red and that's it. But yeah, it's about all the sponsors and shit, right? Like, I think that will be hard. Oh, that wasn't a skip, nice. So I think that this was the most expensive car in the game, but it still wasn't that expensive. It's only 3 million. I mean, at least compared to how much you earn. So I guess it depends on how much you speedrun the game. Because yeah, in my case, I basically went to play every single event, but it's not like you have to play every single event if you don't want to. So if you don't play every single event, maybe it's not that much money. Or rather, it is a lot of money, is what I meant to say. So that's my teammate up there. Good stuff. It's also interesting to see lots of these corners that normally you will break a lot more, but since this is a Formula 1 car, you can get away with very impressive speed on these corners. Yeah, that's the point of a Formula 1 car. The point is that they are the pinnacle of motorsports. I probably, I should play more Formula 1 games. And there are tons of them. Like, there is at least one game per year, It's the thing about Formula 1. Like, you can just pick a random year from when, video games started being a thing to today, and you will find you will always find one game made in that year related to Formula 1. I really will be surprised if there is a single year without a Formula 1 game. It's kind of like football games. Well, in the case of football games, that one is even more clear that every year has at least one game release on it. So maybe here, well, it's not like the AI is doing super badly here, but I think it's mostly that the AI... Oh, wow, was interesting. Fuck. Like, the AI with this thing, I think it's mostly good in Sepang. And that's because, like, since in the main campaign it's the only place where it appears, I will assume that they went all in making the AI strong just for that event, so maybe that's the strongest this AI gets for this car. And every other track is gonna be, like, less challenging. That being said, as I say, they are still doing fast. Just that here I'm clearly being faster than them. Not by a lot, but I am faster and without really doing any dirty stuff or blocking them. Well, in fact, you can see that I had the fastest lap. Okay. But I want to see more of this. I want to see more Formula 1. Wait, that's how my skin look? Really? No? Okay, so that's a bug. That's not how my skin look. It looked like it says there, but not how it showed up in the model. I was out today. Alright, Master of the Streets, and this already has Barcelona and Okutama on the same one. See, that's a problem. Yeah, this is a problem. But I'm glad I started the stream with the Formula 1 even, because if I started with this one, Oh, and with the rain on top of that. Anything else? It might as well have lightning that strikes my car. I think it will just be very fitting for this unfortunate combination of circumstances. Well, at least my teammate is in first. So how is it going, Hehan? Late 2000 V8 F1. It's supposed to be the Fernando Alonso Renault. Like, Fernando Alonso is legit an opponent in this game. But for some reason in the main campaign they only use that car once, which is in the showdown against Alonso. But yeah, here in the DLC they thankfully bring it back, at least for that race. I hope that they bring it back for more than just one race, but I don't know. Seems that they hold on that car a lot instead of using it more like they should. I mean, I cannot imagine the license for that car being very cheap, so might as well use it, you know? Maybe they want to save it for special occasions, I guess, but if it was for me, might as well use it. Just use it. Okay. So surprisingly here in Barcelona, not only I'm doing well, but I'm most likely gonna win this. Very surprising, didn't even need to quali.
Last lap, let's push on to the top spot.
Yeah, well, tell my teammate to let me get the top spot. Ah, fuck. That was my bad. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Teammate. I guess it's because this car is mostly very slow. So these corners that normally kick my ass with almost any other car, it's not that big of a deal here because you have more than enough time to just stop and think and be like, okay, how will I get this corner optimally before that corner like fully comes against you and makes you hit the wall, right? Okay, was pretty good. Well, the next one is Okutama Sprint, hopefully not the full version. Okay, thankfully not the full version, and also the version that does not include the circuit, so basically the best version possible. Nice. I like that. So yeah, this is essentially... it is essentially the best possible choice for you when it comes to racing on Okutama. Well, this part is part of the circuit, but it's only this one. after the tunnel is gone, you go out of the circuit. Here it becomes, I think it's a hill climb. But yeah, you no longer have to deal with that shitty ass circuit. Actually, it might be a downhill. In this one, it's kind of like a mixture of both. It's not a hill climb all the way or a downhill all the way. So this one seems to be more inclined to be a downhill. So yeah. And it's actually a very short track. Will I be able to get the win? No, actually no. But pretty close. Oh, wait a second, damn. Alright. I was not expecting to overtake him from the outside. Nice. That was pretty cool. We really was not expecting a win there. Okay. I like when I see an unsurprising win. Because you know that there are many times that I go on a race and I know I will win. Okay, that time I didn't. So yeah. What's even better than winning is winning surprisingly. But it really seems that the Mini Cooper has very bad acceleration so far. Every time I see them, they just get left behind at the beginning very easily. Well, that was a way faster corner than I thought, my bad. It is quite a nice contrast, right? Like you come from Formula 1 to a hot hatch. Certainly quite a change of pace. Hey, don't worry. I mean, that's what I like. I like that sort of variety. Ouch. Don't worry, these hot hatches are very strong. They can take a fair bit of abuse. I mean, after all, they were kinda made to deal with traffic, you know? So there's not a bigger abuse than a car can take than being stuck in traffic. For what I understand, it's not good for the engine, you know?
On to lap 2. Just one
Like having the engine be turned on and, you know, not moving. I think that's quite bad for the engine. But yeah. I don't have a car, so I wouldn't know. Having a car seems like such a bad idea. Mostly because maintaining a car, aside from expensive, is something that requires you to know a thing or two. Well, it's either that or basically going to the, you know, to someone that repairs it and probably charge you more than they should. But since you don't know how to do it, it's not like you will have an alternative. Unless you want to purchase another car.
This is the final lap, my friend.
If for some reason here though the lead is not gonna happen, I'm not really sure why. I mean, it's not like I'm driving well, but I don't think I was driving well either on the previous ones, and it was more than enough. So I don't know what's different about this one, but who cares? Basically won everything except for this last one, which is surprising considering that the first two were Barcelona and Okutama. So I was gonna do very badly, but no. Basically not measuring these corners properly. I think that even if I was, I don't think I could gain enough time to reach these guys. Well, by these guys I mean this only guy that is ahead of me. Okay. I don't know what to expect now, because what will you even put after Formula 1? It doesn't seem like the order of these events follows any particular logic, but they put a global GT Cup. This probably with the Ferrari, right? Yeah. Sure, why not? And it's the short version of Brands Hatch. No, I wish that they use more single race events here instead of these multi-race ones. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be very common, especially since they definitely have a, you know,
Good luck. I'll keep you updated.
they have the motivation to basically pad these DLC seasons with more events to make them not feel as short as they are. So I feel the fact that they are short or long is not the problem. The issue is that most of this content is just simply not new, you know? Like, it's the same thing as the main campaign. That's the real tragedy here. And I don't know if Season 2 or Season 3 are gonna be any different. Something tells me that they won't. So they probably won't.
One lap down, and you're in third.
Like, if my instinct says it, it must be true. Will I be able to win this though? It's not looking like it right now.
You're through the halfway point.
There's only that Ford GT remaining, but he's going fast, without a doubt. He also, he's going so fast he lost his rear. Pretty funny. I should be able to overtake him.
Right, we're on the final lap. Push to the front.
No problem. I was out to steer right, though, well, like in the full version of this track, but thankfully I kinda stopped myself before it was too late. Okay. Not bad. It's also a shame that even though they do have a new track, they are not using it that much, which is the Paris track. I don't know if some of these variants might be new. Like for example, I don't remember this variant, but that's probably just because my memory is bad. Chicken was so fired he pulled out his braids.
Low visibility.
What do you mean?
So keep your eyes on the track signage and you'll be fine.
I'm not sure what you mean. No, I legitimately don't know what you mean, but it's fine. Don't worry. It happens sometimes. I tend to be a little bit slow. I mean, I have someone that is kind of a regular in the chat, which is Kyle, that sometimes he makes jokes and I don't understand them, and you know he calls me dense anytime that happens. But yeah, I can be a little bit slow on the head. Well, and right now I'm also being a little bit slow on the track, which is not good. I'm actually surprised that I'm doing
Push through now.
so badly here. What's going on? Need to pull it together. At least if I can get a podium, that will be nice. Maybe it's because of that corner. Like I probably did that too slow in the previous laps. It's a corner that you can take in the chicane. The chicane. I mean, it is a chicane. What I'm trying to say is that you can take it at full speed, probably, if you aim properly. Yeah, unfortunately, the third place will not be mine. Yeah, it's not a very good result, but it's fine. It will have to do, well, not to mention I most likely will win regardless, but we'll have liked to perform a little bit better than that. Okay, this track definitely was already there, so...
And we're heading into the final round now, where it'll all be decided. And I've just been told the race is seconds away from lights out.
I want to see more new tracks. I want to see more...
Alright, it's not going to dry up out there. Stay focused.
Well, new cars will be nice as well. But I think that I wouldn't mind using the same cars I always use, like this one, as long as you make me go through new tracks. But so far the only new one was Paris, and that's it. So come on, dude. What are you doing? This game make you do reverse tracks so they give you more races. Well, that's kinda, yeah, what the game has been trying to rely on the whole way. Not just in reverse, but also many different variants of the same track. Even though some of them are barely that much different than between each other. If I'm not mistaken, it might be the game with the least amount of locations in the series. I feel like even the first one had more locations. And if it didn't have more locations, it probably have the same amount. It really feels that it falls short in that regard. Not to mention that, especially compared to Autosport, there is a very distinct lack of popular tracks. Like, where is Mount Panorama, right? Where is Spa-Francorchamps? I mean, where is Circuit de la Sarthe? Like, that one was in the first game and then never again appeared again, but more commonly known as Le Mans, right? Where is Le Mans? Why was it a thing only in the first game? Like, yes, licensing issues, sure, but come on, dude. It seems like a big deal of a track to just be like, nah, the game doesn't need it. Did you manage to get Unscam out of the DLC? No. If you mean that I think the DLC is worth it, no, I haven't seen that yet. Like, so far the DLC is quite a scam, yeah. Also, how is it going, Kyle? You know, I was just talking about you some minutes ago. I was saying how you called me dense for not understanding jokes. And you might be right. I'm not very smart for jokes. My brain doesn't work very well that way. It's fine. Okay, that was close. Tungsten Oshi. Wait, why did Google say that it... Well, Google, YouTube. Why did it say that it translated that? Did you say something other than tungsten? Because that's what it translated it as. Ah, fuck. Well, maybe you said it in Spanish. Could be. I am dense. It happens. Is there a space in the translated message? Yes, there is a space. Oh, so I'm assuming that the untranslated message added the... Well, didn't have a space, okay. Hey, how is it going, Wasabi? Well, you know, Wasabi, I got reminded that someone the other day wrote me a comment in one of the recent one. Okay, yeah, makes sense. I was about to say, there was someone that wrote me a comment in one of these streams. Like, not in the live chat, I mean in the comments after the stream is done. And they were saying, are you ever gonna play another Mario game again? And it reminded me of you, because you probably have the same question. But yeah, my idea for the next Mario game was Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on the Switch, but these guys at Nintendo do not put it on sale, and they probably will never put it on sale. I had to download an extension to disable all the YouTube because the auto dubs and titles were driving me insane. Gotta say that... Oh, that's a different message. Yeah. All the forced translation is pretty shitty. Wait a second. Did I somehow miss this? Wow, okay. How did I not see this? Or was this log? No, it probably wasn't log. Well, my bad, but I will go for this one now. I completely skip it. Damn, like my brain completely skipped that. Okay, my bad, my bad. Well, not like it makes a difference, but I usually like doing things in order.
How you feeling about this one?
But yeah, the well roads look pretty nice. You meant 3D Mario? Well, I don't know what the guy meant. See, that's the thing. The guy said, when are you gonna play a Mario game ever again? Or, well, I think the question was, are you gonna play. No, it was. Fuck, I don't remember the phrasing, but it was something like, "Are you please gonna play another Mario game?" or something like that. So I don't know if by that it means any Mario game or it means a 2D Mario game. But I mean, in my case, my next one will be Galaxy, obviously. But yeah, the issue, as I say, is that Nintendo refuses to put it on sale. The Mario community has you on kill. Yeah. Yeah, Mario 3, like that playthrough probably got so many people wanting my head on a plate. But thankfully, you know, they probably just got mad and that's it. Like they, because it could have been worse. Like it could have gotten mad and then proceed to constantly troll me because of it, but that wasn't the case. The chat have a translator for every language. Like if I put something in Portuguese, it will be translated into English. Yes, it will. Like theoretically, if you don't write a message in English, YouTube will immediately translate it to English. Originally it did that, but to Spanish, because you know I obviously have everything by default on Spanish, but I didn't like that because obviously that will make every regular message, since people here speak English, understandably so, since I also speak English. But yeah, all the message will be translated to Spanish, so I had to change it so it's like English. I don't like it. I would prefer just removing it, but I didn't find the option. And I'm pretty sure the option doesn't actually exist, so yeah, it is what it is. The YouTube titles are so dumb. One was like a Homer clip saying what? Simpsons went to the Bear compilation. Yeah, I don't know. It's it's something that they just really like to shove down our throats, features that nobody asked for. Yeah. Like, the thing is, I'm seeing that in general in many companies. Like, for example, you know that I use Edge as my browser, and they push an update to make the borders round without any option to disable it, and it's like, who asked for that? No one. But they do it because they know that what people think doesn't matter, right? And that's pretty demoralizing, because obviously they can get away with it, but it's like, why? You know, it's like you should do it on purpose. I know where they can shove it instead. Well, yeah, obviously. I don't have it in on any of my devices for live chat.
Maybe stay out of their path. Don't get
What, you mean the translator? That's because the streamer has it. Like, that's exclusively for streamers. And he has just told me to go to hell. I'm assuming that's a very generic translation, right? Like, it probably will be a more spicy thing, but YouTube chicken out. Yeah, in the live chat, it's at least for now only for streamers. And I'm assuming that's to save resources, right? Like, just give it to the streamer and everyone else that is watching can go fuck themselves, I guess. But yeah, the point is that I wish I could disable, but I haven't seen how yet. You say go to the bear? And believe the bears come from hell. Well, they are pretty hellish creatures, you know? There is this thing about thinking that bears are these cute animals. Bears are one of the biggest pieces of shit in the animal kingdom. Only beaten by shit like crocodiles. Crocodiles are probably still at the top of the piece of shit, you know, pyramid. Yeah. So you would like the new character in Chaos, Zero Nightmare? She's 99% ass? Maybe. Just that, well, I didn't really watch the video that you link in the Discord, so I wouldn't know what the game is about. Yeah, mosquitoes, well, yes. Of course. It's just that mosquitoes, even though they are technically animals like any insect, I feel like I don't even consider them animals. I consider them spawned from hell. Like, to call a mosquito an animal is like an insult to any other animal. Like, even an insult to myself. Because, you know, we are all animals, so considering those putrid pieces of shit as something that is of my same type of living organism kinda makes me feel bad. They are regulators, they do their job. What, bears? Maybe, I don't know. All I know is that they are a little bit too aggressive for my taste. Yeah, mosquitoes, yeah, are the worst. It's a deck builder like Slay the Spire, but gacha for character. Damn. That's pretty funny. Like, that single sentence has... Like, I don't like anything about that sentence. Deck builder, Slay the Spire, gacha. It's like you're asking me to please stay away from it. Please don't play it. Well, I obviously appreciate the honesty, right? But yeah, that's like the worst combination. Only thing that is lacking there is like, I don't know, unskippable tits or something. Big builder like Slay the Spire and gacha. Yeah, I feel like that's a game that was exclusively made not for me. They basically look at me and they were like, hey, let's make a game that is precisely the opposite of what this guy likes. Pretty funny. It has a skip button. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Genshin Cooler. Well, in fact, I don't know if to this day Genshin has a skip button or not. I mean, I wouldn't know because I stopped playing it like 2 years ago, but... 2 years ago, which was 4 years after its release, it did not have a skip button. So I don't know if it has it now or not, but... I don't see why it would, considering that they spend so much time not putting it, right? Man, pretty wild. When you mentioned that the game is Korean, you reminded me of Nikke. I think that Nikke actually fits a lot of the shit that is bad. Like, for example, now I think that you can play the whole story from beginning to end without needing to level up in an unreasonable way like you had to do before. But I still don't think it's worth to play that game, so... or any gacha for that matter. Like, I don't know, for a gacha to be... Well, I saw that, you know, I don't know if it was Mihoyo or who it was that announced a racing game gacha or some shit like that. Even something like that, I probably wouldn't like it. You know? I think at this point I'm completely over gacha. You have your own poison with Ragnarok, well, yeah. Ragnarok is indeed a piece of shit. And I am still playing it. So yeah, you are right.
Hold the lead. Last lap.
It's just that Ragnarok is a game that I've been playing on and off for decades. Literally. Like, it's a game that I play quite a bit for like some months. Then I completely stop playing it for months or sometimes even years. And then I come back. It's not like it's a game that I am completely hooked on. Not really. Not to mention that right now, I don't think I have much to do in the first place. Like, I did mostly all the instances I wanted to do. And, you know, well, I could level up my character a little bit. I had a classmate in college who was totally into Genshin Impact. Then Tower of Fantasy came out and it got even worse. Well, sorry to hear that. Can be rough having friends that are very into gacha. Wait, how is it going, Edgar? Wait, I'm assuming that by the name you are speaking in Spanish, right? Like, because YouTube shows the message automatically translated. I'm assuming that the original message was in Spanish, right? Probably. Maybe. It's possible. Oh, it is. Nice. Yeah, like... Since, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, every message that is not in English, YouTube automatically translates it. And as I was saying some minutes ago, I want to disable it, but I can't. So I just read everything in English, even the messages that are not in English.
Pretty good, Alex.
And I've just been told
Yeah.
the race is
At least it translates it relatively well. Assuming it's not a very short phrase that is mostly slang or something like that. But if it's like a long sentence, it tends to translate it well, usually. Need to reach level 4 for basic stuff like Kafra or shops. You got 60 points daily. Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the game you're playing? Because I don't think that's something you need to do in Ragnarok. Or at least not something I need to do in Ragnarok. Right? Yeah, Wolf Village has reputation. Yeah, unfortunately that seems to be something that they kinda took from, you know, from some, well, not like the concept of reputation is anything new, but I think that they mostly took it from gachas that have that sort of shit. And yeah, I certainly didn't want to see it in Ragnarok, of all things, as if everything else wasn't enough. But they do have it. Because, you know, the interesting thing about the reputation is that it unlocks things so you can purchase stuff using like a completely different currency. Pretty fucked up.
Final lap. Let's get out of mid-pack.
Okay, Ragnarok is all about that. Ragnarok, like you essentially have so many currencies in that shitty ass game. It's just that they are not technically treated as currencies, but like they are treated as items. But yeah, they are essentially currencies. Pretty fucked up though. To the point that your inventory starts looking like an absolute mess. Of course.
Stay out of their way.
I'm not surprised that this Okutama shit was gonna be like this.
Okay, it looks like the race is about to
Man. Having to disassemble weapons for currencies,
Under these conditions, it'll be wet all race.
because it's RNG, and there are like 16 different currencies. And can't wait until that update hits. You know, the thing about Ragnarok Online is that it really, truly is a piece of shit of a game. But yeah, I still like it, that's the bad part, you know? Because there are tons of shitty games, so the fact that I like it that's the real problem. You know? Any conversions rates between currencies? It sounds like fun. Definitely. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you start looking at the art when it comes to the sprite work and the music, like yes, they are amazing, all of them. But yeah, I'm talking exclusively as a game, you know? The feeling of power when you can farm maps and stuff. Yeah, I mean, in that case, I don't think it's much different than most RPG games, you know? That's the point of an RPG game, the fact that the progress is you feeling stronger and stronger because you're leveling up and shit, so stuff that you couldn't previously beat, now you can. That's basically the... Oh, someone died. That's basically the big selling point of RPG games, whether they are MMORPGs or single-player RPGs. They are meant to make you feel strong. Even, like, well, that's the thing about, like, the reason why RPGs at some point were so popular, and are still popular, is that technically it's not a genre of game where you need to get better at the game. Like, you simply have to play it enough and you will be stronger. So you get the feeling to feel like, oh, I'm getting better at the game. Well, no, I mean, yes, technically, but I mean that you're not really increasing your skill with the game. You're simply increasing the stats, the numbers inside of the game, which is quite different from, for example, a shoot 'em up. That's probably the best example, right? In a shoot 'em up, you need to get better. It's not a matter of playing it enough and just that is enough to get better. I mean, yes, usually playing it for a long time will make you better, but it's not a guarantee. Like, you have to put effort on your part to learn and to get better at them. So in that way, RPGs are very good at that, at making you feel like you're getting better at something that in reality you're just dumping time on. Ah, fuck me. Okay, that probably broke my car. Or not. Did it? Didn't look like it did. I mean, my direction, at least it's fine. Maybe I lost some top speed, I don't know. Oof, that was close to a penalty. Well, shame that I don't get the second place, but at least I didn't forfeit the race. Oh, hold up. No, we actually did get the second place. For some reason, the opponents do that corner super slowly. Pretty weird. I love going to Niflheim 1 and making a big mob to kill them all in a single crystal rain. Or when you reach insta-cast and spam skills like crazy. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I mean, it does feel nice, but it's just an interesting observation. Wait, message retracted? What you mean message retracted? What was wrong with that message? I read it. It's about reaching instant cast. Well, are you ashamed of instant cast? What's wrong with instant cast? Or did you press the wrong button? Maybe you just wanted to see what that option did. Well, it deletes the message. Oh, it's because you're on mobile. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, like fat fingering stuff. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, I cannot relate because I don't have a cell phone, but it can definitely happen. Don't worry about it.
Listen, you've got a good position going into lap 2.
This is why you view YouTube on the mobile browser instead of the app. Yeah, that's probably, if I had a cell phone, it's probably what I would do. Instead of downloading apps, I simply will use the browser. Well, assuming they let me. There are some things that don't let you use the browser when they detect that the resolution is a certain width. I press the box below to write, but the tab message thing appear and press delete message instead. Nice.
You're halfway through the race.
I mean, as long as you don't press the delete account button, it should be fine. You know? Another thing I hate about Raw is that there isn't a smart cast. Wait, what you mean smart cast? You have to press a skill, aim it. Oh, I see. Like, you mean like you cannot just press a skill and it goes to whatever the closest opponent is. Well, I personally don't mind that. I like being able to choose who to kill. You can cast a skill as soon as you press the button. Well, it also depends on the skill. Like, well, for example, that skill that Archmage has called... well, one of the water ones. That one you just press it and it gets casted, you know? So in that regard, I think that it depends on the skill. It would be nice if it was an option, I guess. But I like being able to control who I target and, you know, like that. When you're playing Ranger or Geneticist, you are doing like 7 casts per second if you got good gear. Yeah, but you gotta understand I'm an Archmage. So I ironically have slow cast compared to every other class, I guess. It becomes annoying then painful. Yeah, I can imagine that, especially with the Geneticist, since you run pretty fast. Speed running carpal tunnel. Yeah, it happens. In my case, it's not really that much of a problem as an Archmage. Just kinda works. At the same time, you gotta keep in mind that Ragnarok is a game that is built on an engine that is like more than 20 years old, you know. So even though they could probably implement something like that, I will assume like drastic changes like that are never gonna happen. I mean, the renewal is already a very drastic change in itself. It didn't really change the basic way the game is played from a control perspective, you know. Archmage can bypass it with the area skills and with area of effects/build. Yeah.
You're on pace.
You could use a macro. Yeah, I don't think official servers are big fans of things like that. It might be possible that if you use a macro, the anti-cheat is gonna detect it. Or no, I don't know. I never tried, but I also don't wanna try it. Seems like a bad idea. Weird that Assassin's Cross is the only class that can constantly cast a skill with the spin. That's more like the Guillotine Cross. Yeah. I mean, essentially, the Assassin and the Hunter line are the most busted ones without a doubt. They seem to be the favorite of the devs.
This is the last lap. Push on to the front.
If your macro is half decent, it will have randomized time between inputs. Then it will be nearly impossible to detect. Well, it depends, because it could detect the process running in the background. If it really wants you to not use macros, it will do something like that, you know? That's what the anti-cheat programs tend to look for, processes in the background. I guess the third show update, the strongest was Star Emperor. Once 4 classes hit the Heaven Towers, Archmage quickly took over. It could be. I mean, I personally am pretty happy with the Archmage, but I think that the other classes can also do very messed up stuff. Yeah, the Archmage is cool. Alright. Modified Street Tour. Oh, with these Loas cars. And you really like using these cars, don't you? Now every class can be a powerhouse and solo stuff, yeah. The classes are hardly special right now.
San Francisco, and we've been taking off the days on our calendar.
Yeah, they are that powerful. It's a shame because it kinda makes team play something completely obsolete, you know? It is what it is. You know, here, since this is like a very generic category with like this like sport cars, I guess. Like, you could easily just bring new cars on this one to make something like this, but no, you are using the same ones that were using in the main career. A pretty big wasted opportunity. Well, that's the thing about this game. This game, I think that if there is one expression that very nicely encompasses how it is like that, like wasted opportunities, wasted potential. Ah, fuck me. Because what it has is pretty good, but it could be better, that's the thing. It could be better, but it isn't better. And I don't think it would have taken that much to make it better. It's whatever. That was a relatively clean overtake. That one not so much. Tree of Savior forcing you to play a specific class to make heals. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Also, you know, you saw it in Discord. There was a pretty big streamer yesterday that opened one of my videos to show one specific game, like to show his chat, like one specific game, and I was the first result that showed up in Google. And that really has made me think that, yeah, maybe I should go back to playing obscure games that nobody gives a shit about. Because, yeah, I probably will be the first result in a lot of cases. If there are games that nobody bothered to play, you know? Have they say anything else about Raw 3? I have no clue. They're also first page for Suwa Pion. Yeah. Well, Touhou Doujin games could also be another one of those. Because there are some that a lot of people know, but there are so many others that people don't know. But yeah, at the same time, playing obscure games has the issue that in most cases they are obscure for a reason. In some other cases, well, like the case of Suwa Pion, like, yeah, it's a very underrated game because it's very good. But yeah, the point is that in most cases when a game doesn't have much attention, it tends to be for a reason. And finding games that are not popular that at the same time are very good is hard, because it's like you have to sort through so much shit. In fact, it's something I remember, like playing indie games. I own a lot of indie games on Steam, and I play them sometimes. And at the beginning I usually was just playing like very highly rated indie games for the most part. But then I started playing indie games that were like less highly rated, and that's when you realize that there's a lot of shit swimming in the pool of unknown games. Because yes, in most cases they are unknown for a good reason. And that's the thing, if you want to find a good unknown game, you have to basically go through all of the ones that are not good. A good example, I guess, you know, like the streamer I was talking about was showing the game Scud Race, which is an arcade game released by Sega. in the 90s. It's like the prototype to Daytona 2. And even though I guess back then was a popular game, it's not really popular anymore because obviously it's something that Sega didn't make anything else about. And it's a game that just remained there in the 90s. It didn't get ported to any new platform, to any modern platform, I mean. So the only way to play that is to emulate. And you will be surprised by the amount of people that get filtered by emulation, even when the emulator is the most user-friendly one. Which, admittedly, the one for the Sega Model 3, which is the arcade platform that the game runs, is not very user-friendly, I guess. But yeah, the point is that just like Scud Race is a pretty good game that not many people know, there are also other games, and one of them I mentioned while I was playing this game because it's made by the same people, and it also shares one of the tracks with this series of games. Like, it shares Okutama, which is Toka for the PS1. So even though that's not like an extremely unknown game, it pretty much has the same level of popularity as Scud Race. Like, it's a game that back then when it released had a certain amount of popularity, but right now in 2026 no one knows about them, right? So they kinda count as obscure games in that sense. But that's the thing. Toka, I tried playing that game. You know, I tried playing that game and it fucking sucks. And I remember, I think I owned one of them when I was a kid, so it's not like I wouldn't have nostalgia. In fact, I remember seeing the UI and I was like, oh wow, I remember this. But the game fucking sucks so much to play, like the controls are awful. It's the kind of thing that makes you appreciate games like Gran Turismo even more than I already do. Because Gran Turismo managed to ace the handling while at the same time not making it extremely arcadey. Well, like, it was one of the first approaches to simcades, right? Like, I'm talking about the PS1 Gran Turismos, of course. And it really makes you appreciate games like that more. Because then you play a game like Toka, where it's borderline unplayable how shit the controls are, and then you think to yourself, well, it's a little bit tiresome to to look for these random ass games, because most of these suck. And they are unknown, or not unknown, but like they are relatively obscure for a reason, because they kinda suck, right? So that's the issue with those type of games. It's not only hard to find them, but also finding them implies playing a lot of shit that is not good and wasting your time doing that, basically. That will be your legacy, random game player and Suwapion connoisseur. I mean, that's a good legacy, if you ask me. It's a pretty good legacy. But yeah, the point is that it's not easy to look for obscure games that are not shit to play. And of course I could play the ones that are shit to play, but you know that the number one objective of my stream is to entertain myself, which is obviously not the mindset that a streamer will need to have, but I mean, in my case, yes, that's the way I see it. I want to entertain myself first, and then whoever decides to watch it, right? So playing a game like Toka with the absolutely awful handling it has, like, I could, but that doesn't sound fun to me. I mean, I could practice it to try to get better at it, but it doesn't seem to be worth it. But on the right side though, I did see like a racing game franchise that is pretty old, and I'm pretty sure most people don't know about it. Like, it's probably the same, like the same level of obscurity as the Skull Race, except this one is an actual franchise with multiple games. That one I could probably play it after I'm done with this game sometime after that. But yeah. Because I played the first game, it's an SNES game, and the very little I played seemed very good. So I'm kinda interested in playing all of them. And since again it's a relatively obscure series of game, I guess it will be good for the channel, I guess.
Listen up. Hold the lead. Last lap.
Yeah. You can say that this is a pretty aimless channel. Well, not aimless in the sense that, I mean, the main thing about this channel is video games. It's just what sort of video games? Well, nothing in particular really. Just whatever pops into my mind. And a lot of times I think of why don't I just ask for recommendations, like what games my viewers want me to play, but then I realized that most of the times I wouldn't enjoy their recommendations. So yeah, I probably should still do it. You know, one thing that I thought about is having a channel in my Discord server where you can just dump random names of games as recommendations, like games that you want to see me play. And then I'm probably gonna ignore like 99% of them, but there might be one that I'm like, oh, this seems like a good idea, and I actually play it. But yeah, I don't know. As I say, this is a very aimless channel. Doesn't really try to be anything in particular. Just a channel where some random guy plays games. That's what it is about. And that's not a bad thing in itself, but yeah. I guess sometimes would be nicer if it was something else, but do I want it to be something else? I don't know. Anyways, this is LMP. I guess we can do that. And Silverstone reverse again. At least it's not raining this time.
Kristen, tell me about this Silverstone circuit. One of our drivers got... Oh, they ran off the track.
Oh, it's a time attack. With 4 laps, really? Wait, why 4 laps? Isn't this a pretty long track? And why will you put 4 laps on this one? It's a little bit nonsensical. Every time there is a time attack, I gotta really focus on what I do. So I need to do the right racing lines and all that shit. Unlike when it's a normal race that I can kinda not pay attention and still win. Okay, 1.5 minutes, it seems that it's the time these guys are setting. Oh, you can do that almost at full speed. Okay. that is the best time by quite a while, and it most likely will remain that way. That's pretty nice. Look at what these guys are doing. Seem to be going pretty hard at each other. You kinda forgot that this was supposed to be a time attack. That's not the way to do fast laps. What are you doing? Probably gonna be a faster time even. Yeah, it is. And it didn't need to be. These guys are doing 1 minute and a half. Also, I really don't understand why these guys are losing random car parts, well, randomly. Like, that has to be a bug. Like, it makes no sense that these guys, without any sort of collision, are just losing their parts. And it happens quite often, so it's not like it's a rare bug. You constantly see the guy in front of you just having parts randomly fly. It's pretty amusing, of course, but it seems a little bit out of place. Well, I guess it's funny precisely because it's out of place. Okay, what I still don't understand is the need to make this 4 laps when most of these events are 3 laps, especially considering that this is a long track. If it was a short one, it would make sense, but it is not short, not even close. If I didn't have the top time already, and these guys were basically just costing me the lap, I will be so furious right now. Yeah, don't worry. Like, I'm so far ahead of everyone that I clearly don't need any other good lap. That wasn't better, but it's fine. And there is still one more, isn't there? I think. But I hope it's only one and not 2. Yeah, it's only one. And it's Brands Hatch Reverse, at least also without rain.
And we're heading into the final round now.
This was supposed to be some British Championship, yeah, UK Prototype Masters.
Seconds away from lights out.
Correct. That was bad. Yeah, since these are 4 laps, you have more than enough to set a good time here. Might not be that easy to set a good time here as I did on Silverstone, but well, not to mention this guy being right in front of me. Oh, he didn't set a good time at all, which means I can probably get away with also not needing to get first place or something like that. That was close. Yeah, I probably need to set a valid time though, that seems quite important. Okay, you're gonna get overtaken. Yeah, this should be a valid time and also should be the current first time. Hope I didn't choose Shinsil by saying that. There is still this corner remaining here. Okay, perfect. So what's the time here? Well, that's way better. Yeah, that's 2 seconds ahead. Oh shit, and that guy? Yeah, okay. Pretty nice stopping in the middle of the road like that. Thankfully it didn't destroy my car, because something like that could have easily made me instantly lose the race right there. By like making the engine blow up or whatever. Well, if it was realistic, that impact would have destroyed my car, yes, but this game is just a simcade, please understand. Just a little simcade. Not much of a simulator, really. Don't worry. Give me all of the off-track warnings you want, it's not gonna matter. It would be nice to aim for this final lap to be a record. Probably a little bit too ambitious though. So will that be a PB? No. Not by that much, but yeah, not like it matters as I was already 2 seconds ahead anyway, so... Okay. Yeah, give me that. That was quite free. I do hope I get to see the Formula 1 thing more, but... Okay, I am seeing it there, 2 events using the Formula 1 car, that's pretty cool. But before that, we need to use this. I'm kinda tempted to go for the Porsche here. honestly. But yeah, I guess I'll continue with the Mustang for now. Oh, and these two are in Paris. Well, at least you're using the new tracks. Well, new, quote-unquote, I guess.
Hey everybody, you've been making a lot of
I
noise out
found
there.
something I have been looking for years.
We're about to get this underway.
And what have you found that you've been looking for years? What is it? What could it be, the thing that you've been looking for years? And this asshole is perfectly getting in my way. Okay, at least that's an overtake. Okay, don't get in my way. Do me a favor and just stay there. So by the way, these are 4 laps on a track that isn't really that short. Very old cartoon I remember watching, I couldn't remember the title, but the aesthetic, or only the aesthetic. And it randomly appeared on TikTok. It was called Kappa Mikey. I know that. Kappa Mikey was supposed to be like a western drawn cartoon character in a place full of anime characters. Yeah, like that was the idea. That was a very... I didn't really watch that too much at all. But yeah, that was the premise. Like some non-Japanese cartoon going into like an anime place or something. Yeah, very weird. There were a lot of weird cartoons in that era. I still remember the opening song. I mean, not super well, obviously, but it had a pretty catchy opening. I also, by the way, despite that being the premise, I know absolutely nothing about the show outside of that. Like, I haven't watched a single episode, I'm pretty sure. Back then shit was wacky quality but had soul. Well, it depends on when, because from that era I also remember shit like I don't understand. There is a show from Cartoon Network that was very popular apparently back then, and I thought it was a piece of garbage that is called Chowder. I thought it was so shitty, but apparently it was also popular, and I still don't understand why. And that's the kind of thing that was wacky, but it was wacky and shitty. And back then, to me, there were a lot of those cartoons that were wacky but also shitty, you know. Remember episode 4 when he wants a game and is out of stock? Wait, hold up, give me a second. So his friend gives him the port and starts shouting pirates. And real pirate appears and sells him a pirate copy of the game. Well, that's something that purchasing pirate copies of games is something that we can resonate pretty well with. That's for sure.
Final lap. Aim to break into the top 3.
Yeah, I don't think I'm breaking to the top 3. I found it stupidly funny. That's how pirate games should be sold. By you yelling pirate. I kinda agree it was nasty sometimes, that cartoon. Chowder, yeah. Back then, for whatever reason, they let people that had very nasty fetishes make it into cartoons for kids. It wasn't the only one. I remember there being a lot of very grotesque shit showing up there. The difference is that I do remember some grotesque shit in shows that were funny, but I don't remember a single funny thing about Chowder, for example. And in contrast, I remember something like The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy that was also extremely nasty, but at least that one I found it funny. Yes, I wish the nasty shit wasn't there, but at least when it tried to be funny, I felt like it was funny. Also pretty fun dynamic between the characters, right? How Cartoon Network could produce some nasty shit and then go to the regular show. And when regular show came out, I wasn't really watching cartoons that much anymore, so I cannot really talk that much about it. I did watch a couple of episodes, but yeah, I think I didn't really appreciate it that much. I mean, from real pirates. It's a shame. Well, real pirates still exist. It's just that they are not as cool as the fictional ones. They can never be as cool as the fictional ones, of course. It's not possible.
I think you have to be careful now. You might have pushed them too far.
The issue here is that if I don't get into the podium, I'm not winning the championship. I think that for getting 4th place I got 12 points. Well, getting 12 points again will not be enough to win, so... I mean, a 1st place will be ideal, I guess, to at least warrant that I will win, but...
You're in mid-pack going into lap 2.
I'm pretty sure that just getting 3rd place will be enough to guarantee a victory. It's not that easy. These cars are tough to drive, and even more so if rain is involved. A regular show gives off the vibes, wait, hold up, give me a second, of those GTA, San Andreas, Motor Jefferson, Underworld creepypastas. Seems like a pretty specific thing. Can't really say I was around to experience that though. Oof, that was a problem. Okay, that's fine, I'm still 2nd. Well, the thing about Grand Theft Auto in general is that I have not played a single Grand Theft Auto game. I mean, I more or less know how they go, so I probably would understand a creepypasta if I read it, but I personally I don't like Grand Theft Auto. In fact, the fact that everyone is so hype about Grand Theft Auto 6 makes me feel so, you know, well, she's kind of like a weirdo, but then again, I am a weirdo, so it's not like I need something like that to feel like one, but it's like I couldn't give less of a shit about Grand Theft Auto, you know? But yeah, everyone is super excited about 6. The same way everyone was super excited about 5. But yeah, I don't like those type of games. I mean, usually open world games are not for me at all. Just don't like them. But even less so one where you play as a criminal. Definitely not a fan of that. But it's whatever. I also remember when I read creepypastas a very long time ago. Man, that was some time ago for sure. Very long time ago. But it's I mean, some of them were entertaining, I guess, but at some point when it comes to horror stuff, like I personally am completely over horror stuff. I was never really a big fan in the first place, but nowadays horror does absolutely nothing for me. Like it's something that is, you know,
Hello and welcome to today's event. Kristen,
something I'm
what have we got
completely
tonight?
uninterested
Alright, we'll
in.
get back to that shortly because it's
In
time to
fact,
get started.
the thing about horror is that most of the times I avoid it, not because it's scary, but because I don't like gore and blood and all of that. So a lot of times like that's what turns me off, you know? It's like, I don't wanna see that shit. That's disgusting. Of course, not all horror is like that, but usually it tends to be. So my only relation with horror is when it's a video game and the gameplay is the main focus rather than the horror. Well, a good example, and the example I think I always bring, is Resident Evil 5. I played that game so many times because I just love the way it plays. Wow, nice reshowing, you sack of shit. But yeah, I was out to say, I love the way that game plays, and playing it co-op is an amazing experience. Yeah, I played it on stream twice, co-op, with Kyle. We did them in hard difficulty, and then on the hardest one that gets unlocked afterwards. It's pretty cool. Well, it's not called hard. They have like cheesy names like veteran or whatever, right? But it's supposed to be hard mode and all of that. But I like that game not because of the zombies or the blood or like the body deformation shit or virus or whatever. I like it because it just plays very nicely. Like, it's a good challenge, and it's probably one of the best co-op games I played. So yeah, if there is not a nice strong gameplay attached to a horror game, I am not interested whatsoever. Well, another example is Five Nights at Freddy. Ironically, the gameplay of the first games I like. I think it's very unique and very engaging as well. And the penalty for losing, well, penalty, like the punishment for losing being a jump scare is pretty cool. I mean, that tends to be the case in a lot of horror games, but I like the way that that Five Nights at Freddy handles it. Ironically, Five Nights at Freddy got popular because of the things not related to gameplay. Though the gameplay probably did help. But it's more about the lore and the characters and that shit that I cannot possibly give a shit about. But yeah, to me, Five Nights at Freddy, at least the original trilogy, is, from a gameplay perspective, so extremely original and so well done. It's really one of those things that... Well, it's the type of game that inspire, I guess, a genre on its own, right? Like lots of clones release after that. And I'm pretty sure that they keep releasing, you know? Actually, you know, the other day I learned... I mean, I'm not sure, maybe it was just a joke and it's not a real thing, but I feel like even as a joke, it's... Well, I found it pretty funny that apparently there is a game called Five Nights at Epstein, and you're supposed to be a kid surviving there. It's obviously extremely edgy and super dark humor, obviously. It's not the kind of thing that you will normally joke about, but I personally love that sort of very inappropriate, very dark, very politically incorrect humor. I'm just a fan of edgy comedy, and that just sounds hilarious. But obviously, judging by the dark background of it, yeah, it's like, that's super fucked up, dude, you shouldn't laugh at that. I mean, I will be lying if I say it wasn't funny to me. It is funny. Sorry. I'm an asshole and I probably will go to hell, yes, but hey, I might be an asshole, but at least I'm not a liar. Just a regular asshole. You know? Sorry if that made anyone uncomfortable, it's fine. I mean, it makes sense if it did. I'm just the unsensitive asshole, I guess. But yeah, it's... I just find it to be pretty funny. But yeah, regardless of that, the point is that Five Nights at Freddy, I do think that they are good games. At least the original trilogy. What they release afterwards is... whatever. Like, I don't really care that much. Mostly because it focuses on story. Like, I don't care about that. You know? Like, one of those things that... It's one of those things that, yeah, it's not what I look for in a video game. Was that the bite of 87? I also am so surprised that that clip got viral. Like that Markiplier clip, like why? Why did that get viral? Like, if anything, I feel like that getting viral is funnier than the context. I mean, in the context, there's barely anything, I guess. I mean, it's just Markiplier trying to wonder if what was happening on the screen was an event in the history of the game, in the story, sorry, of the game. But yeah, it's like... The fact that it got viral, I found it to be pretty funny. It's like, why? Why that specific random-ass clip? Man. I guess it's also a way to mock people that try to find a story in shit that is random, that has really nothing special about it. I guess that's the intention, right? It's like, no, it's not that. It's just some random-ass... like cutscene, right? It's not supposed to be that specific event. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Like I don't know why. I guess it's one of those things that it's funny in a very ironic way. Like there are many like quotes of irony wrapping that clip. But I still find it funny. And Markiplier is a pretty good YouTuber for youngsters, like I was back when I watched him. It's a type of entertainer that definitely knows his audience pretty well and does very well with them. And that's the interesting thing, because, well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that watch them as younger, like either kids or teenagers, maybe they still watch him nowadays, but for the most part I think that it's one of those YouTubers where the public keeps constantly renewing itself. It's like you will always have young people watching him, even if maybe not as much as before, but as I say, it's one of those YouTubers that knows his audience pretty well. And I mean, it's the reason why he's one of the biggest YouTubers in the platform. I mean, that's one of the keys for knowing your audience and, you know, pandering to them. That's what you need. I personally not only don't know my audience, but I also don't really care about pandering to them, so I cannot possibly expect to reach that size or even close to that. But if you do want to reach that size, or at least attempt, that's the first thing you need. You need to know your audience and you need to cater to them. That's what you need. He keeps finding new horror games to play. Well, yeah, that's because, I mean, when you look for indie games, like, there are an insane amount of indie games out there. Like, it's probably one of those things, like, yeah, like, there are more than you can probably count. And yes, most of them are of very shitty quality, but that's the thing. If anything, that makes it more interesting for the kind of streams that he goes for, right? And well, it was also what I was saying earlier about myself trying to find obscure games. Like, I will do that more often if it wasn't for the fact that the majority of those obscure games are obscure for a reason. And yes, I could play a shitty game, I guess, but that's the thing, I don't want to. Like, the games I play on stream, I want them to be good, you know? Or at least, regardless of if you can say that they are objectively good or not, games I like, right? That's the important thing. And games like those, the games that are obscure and are like that because they are bad, yeah, I most likely wouldn't want to play them. But it's whatever. I mean, it's the difference between an ultra small stream and an ultra big stream, you know? It's the way you approach streaming and what you do with it. Bam. I personally just do my own thing. It's kinda what I do. Oh, no way. That's the full version of Okutama with, well, with these cars. Should be easy, right? Like, this should be easy for sure. I mean, most of the hard things about this track are about going too fast to control your car. I mean, if it's this car, surely that's not a problem. Come on, dude, that wasn't even that big of a hit. I get that you're pissed off because we have to drive in this shitty ass track, but don't take it out on me. Well, I'm already in first, so of course, as always, the hard part is keeping the lead, but it should be fine. So, you know, speaking of obscure games, something that to this day I'm still regretting is not having not having saved the redneck playthroughs that I had, just like a random ass Toho inspired shoot 'em up that is free also. Like, I played it like 5 years ago or something on stream, but since I thought that they were so mediocre, I never bothered uploading them to YouTube. But now I realize that if I had did that, they probably will be videos that, you know, that will be viewed quite a lot, because I don't think there are many videos about those games. And not to mention that I did the typical one coin clear run, so it's something that lots of people will be interested in. And yeah, I didn't save it, so I regret it after all this time. And you might be thinking, well, why don't you just play them again? But as I say, the games kinda suck, you know, that's the problem. They are not bad, especially for being free games, but like, they are the kind of games that, like, they make you wonder, why wouldn't I just play Toho instead, right? But yeah, I guess I'm probably being pretty harsh with them. They are not bad games, but yeah, it's just like, after beating them once, I don't have any reason to play them again. Like, they weren't good enough for me to be like, oh shit, you know what would be nice, playing this again? No, definitely not. But yeah, like, the point is that if I had uploaded my runs of those games, they probably would have been seen by quite some people. But yeah, since I didn't, I guess not. At the same time though, there are many games that are pretty obscure that I guess not that many people watch. It's really a 50-50. Have lots of obscure games that nobody gives a shit about, and lots that, since no one else bothered to play precisely because they are obscure, I am like the first result that shows up when you look up the game. It's very random, really. Thankfully that was pretty clean. I kinda expected that to be the case. With a slow car like this one, even an annoying ass track like this is not gonna be an issue. So yeah, don't worry about it. Though I thought that I might have been able to beat at least the first season of DLC today, but it's not really looking like that's gonna be the case. It seems that beating this DLC is probably gonna take a little bit longer than I initially expected. I mean, there was an estimation that I thought that beating all the DLCs will take the same amount of time as beating the main career mode. And then when I saw that the DLCs had a significantly smaller amount of events, I was like, yeah, no, it's gonna be fine. But no, now I'm thinking that it probably will take that amount of time after all. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I just wish that the content of these DLCs was actually new. But most of it is simply shit that you already seen in the main career, so yeah, it's like you are out of luck. Wow. I'm doing pretty bad on this race.
Grid World Series is coming in hot.
Should I quali? I don't think I wanna quali, but maybe I need to. You know, don't quali, just dive on. That's the solution. It always was the solution. It always is the solution. When in doubt, just dive on to wash your worries away. Don't worry about it. The AI sometimes does it too, so no need to feel guilty. Yeah, see? By dive bombing in almost every corner, you're already in 4th place compared to like the pathetic 12th place you had in the previous attempt. So yeah, you just need to dive bomb more, bro. Don't worry about it. It's fine. See, this guy doesn't mind that he just got dive bombed. He's happy about it. He's happy that you consider him a worthy opponent enough to dive on, you know? So yeah, don't worry about it. This is the intended way to play this game. But now that I don't have anyone in front of me, I'm doing the corners pretty quickly. So even more of a reason to dive on. Like, you already know that you are faster. It's not that you are simply overtaking them because you're trying to take them out. You are simply naturally faster. So you're just rightfully taking your places in the grid, you know? Yeah, I'm actually doing these corners pretty well. Pretty well. Yeah, that was pretty fast. Especially judging by the distance, well, and the fact that the fastest lap was 3 seconds faster than the second one. And to think that I slightly consider doing the quali, I'm out of my mind. You wanted to do a quali for that? Come on. What are you doing? Avoiding maneuver? Avoiding what maneuver? You probably mean evasive maneuver?
Right. Have a good race.
Yeah. I mean, evasive maneuver is what my opponents need to avoid my dive bombs. Some of them don't try to avoid. They simply stay in the way. Ah, damn it. This one I also got to the lead quite early.
Listen, you've got a good position going into lap 2.
Yeah, I know. Being in the podium is of course a good position. Also, when did was it September when the Touhou 6 remake release? Because man, that's the thing about Touhou. Every time that a new official Touhou game comes out, I always have to pretty much make sure I don't have anything else going on. Because I gotta reserve that time for that. And the worst part about Touhou releases is that they tend to be when my stream ends. That's pretty annoying. It is what it is. What can you do? It's like I'm always late compared to everyone else to play it. Or maybe I could do what a lot of people do for GTA 6 and like basically ask for the day off in their shows. So I could basically take vacations when the Touhou 6 remake comes out and stream in the early morning when I usually the first one to stream it. That will be something. Though the thing about that is that if it has a convention release, like the people that work to the convention will play first, since it will release on Steam later. I don't think this is the case. I think this one might actually release on Steam at the same time for everyone, hopefully. So if that's the case, I'm very tempted to do that. That will be something. Though the issue of streaming that late is that I will have to speak very quiet. Wouldn't want to wake everyone up, you know? But I don't think it's a good idea regardless. Alright, so we're back at Formula 1 here. I said that I wanted to change the skin to make it look like the Alonso one again. Though how do you go back? Oh, to stock. And you have two stock ones and then this one. That is epic. You know, I want the Alonso one. Since everyone else will not use it, I want to use it myself. I mean, it's a beautiful skin. Wait, Sepang again, dude? Why are you obsessed with this shit?
Tell me something about the Sepang circuit. One of our drivers got
Yeah, I'll tell you that it fucking sucks. No, I'm just kidding. But the thing is here that... yeah, I don't know. It will be hard to get into a good position. That's the issue. You see, the AI here seems to do pretty well. fuck me. Damn it. That's the issue. On tracks like this, it's very easy to skip the corners. And these are 4 laps, so the chances to skip the corners are also plentiful.
Okay, you got a long race ahead of you, so find your groove early on.
Okay, I pissed 2 people off at the same time. Nice. I'm evolving. Yeah, one of them I caused them to fall to last place, so I guess that one makes more sense. Oh, and last place by a lot. If you look at the minimap, he's super far behind. Ah, for fuck's sake, dude. That corner is gonna be the bane of my existence, isn't it? Like, whether I skip it or I get taken out because of it.
Alright, this is a long race, so keep focused.
Sepang sucks actually at Tire Eater. I hated this track every time I had to race in the F1 game. And people are happy that it's coming back to schedule. Yeah, that's something that I seen the other day. I didn't know, but Sepang, like the last time that it was a track in Formula 1 was in 2017. But they are planning to make it come back for this year, so it replaces the Bahrain Grand Prix. So that's pretty interesting because I wasn't expecting such a coincidence when I say I'm pretty sure Sepang is part of the Formula 1 calendar. Well, it was, but it wasn't for a while, so I got super lucky with that, I guess. As a track, I mean, the problem with Sepang is simply how uninspired it is. It's essentially long straights into super slow corners. Fuck. Okay, that's fine. Would have been worse. So essentially, you build all this speed constantly that you're supposedly, like you're supposed to give up right afterwards every single time. That's my issue with Sepang. Like, it does have like 1 or 2 fast corners, but for the most part it's super long straight into like sharp corner. Like, it almost looks like it's a car that was made by a toddler, you know? A car, I mean a truck. Did I say truck? Whatever. Point is that it feels like it was designed by a toddler that just wants to make something that resembles a truck, but he doesn't have that much imagination yet, so he makes straight into corner, right? That's how this track feels to me. Like, it's not bad in itself, like it's like being simple doesn't make it bad, but the thing is that with how many tracks there are in the world and so many to pick from, this is certainly not a very nice pick, I think. I mean, if you're from Malaysia and having this track and being able to race in it as a local, that's great, right? Like, at that point, obviously, it will be pretty nice, but in a racing game where you can pick between so many tracks and the only thing between you and that is the license, the fact that, yeah, picking Sepang, I think, is not a good idea. It's fine. I mean, it's still cool for the sake of variety, right? If you want the archetype of track with long straights into sharp corners, well, look no further, you have it right here. But and the fact that it's a known track also means that people are familiar with it, so that can be a plus, of course. Yeah, I personally, as I say, just find it to be an uninspired track, like something that is not very creative at all. Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Also, yeah, that first place is obviously completely gone. You're not gonna get first. And the only reason why you will probably keep second is because everyone is braking behind you. Just like it happened last time. Like the AI with the Formula 1 car does Sepang way better than you do.
This is the final
Like
lap.
way better. Yeah, that's why I want to see this car in more tracks than just this one, you know? My teammate is also the one that is following White close behind. I like that the gigantic Malaysia flag in the background is basically a way to tell you, hey, you're supposed to brake. Oh, no way, you have to be shitting me. You cannot be serious. Wait, for some reason, it's like my grip completely disappeared. I can't believe it was on the final corner. Okay. I'm not gonna retry that now because I got pretty frustrated, so I'll let some time pass before retrying that. If I retry right away, it's just gonna be like, no thank you. But man, that fucking sucks. I mean, why did it even happen in the first place? Like, that makes no sense. Is the reason why, well, another reason why I don't like that track. Randomly, you can just get the car to do that. And I really don't understand the reason. It fucking sucks when that happens. And even more so if it's the final lap. Okay, the problem now is that I'm trying to drive the opposite of a Formula 1 car. It's kinda hard to get used to it, you know? But at the same time, I feel like my car, for whatever reason, lost a lot of grip at the end. Because even when I tried to recover, I really couldn't. So it was a little bit odd. Not sure what was going on there. What I'm sure of is that it absolutely sucked that happened. God damn it. Like, thinking about it pisses me off, you know? And thinking that I have to do it again pisses me off even more. God damn it. Not to mention 4 laps in the full version of the circuit. So on top of being annoying by default is the fact that it's so long, right? Fuck, it's okay, stop thinking about it. The more you think about it, the more you want to Alt F4, and it's understandable, but you gotta hold on. Like, the thing that I don't understand is why it even happened. Like, I wasn't even distracted. It would make sense if I was distracted and suddenly, like, I did the corner badly, but I was not. I was paying attention to the corner. So I don't know what happened. Whatever. too late now. If anything, it just tells you how fragile a race is when it can go to shit that quickly, you know? So the first lap was the best one, and I don't think I can do a better one than that, which is pretty sad. At least it was the best one, but yeah, the other two were pretty bad. Oh, Arc de Triomphe is the like that structure that is well, it's an arc. Yeah, that one, that shit. The Triumph's Arc, or whatever you say it in English. It's a structure to celebrate victory. Not sure what victory. Yeah, to celebrate victory in general. The question is if I can celebrate my own victory in this event here. Will that happen? I think I'm doing well here, but it's impossible to see until you finish the lap, which by the way, it's a lap that it's more than 2 minutes. That's something. That's not a short lap. Which makes the fact that there are 3 in total a little bit of an issue. French celebrate white flag. You know, I was gonna make a joke about French and surrendering, but you know, I decided against it. But that one, yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Pretty thematic as well, with white flags. Yeah, pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know, did the French give up that much throughout history? Just don't really know the history of countries like that. Maybe. I surrender at the top? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I did. Yeah. It's you know, despite what a big portion of the internet seems to be like, you know what, for some reason it's very common for people to say, you know, to like be against France, right? Like on the internet. I'm not sure exactly why, but yeah, I don't really have anything against France. I just, you know, it seems to be something that comes from old times as well. Like making fun of French people for some reason was a hobby of many people. Before it was France, now Argentina. Well, but that's simply because of the World Cup shit. Like, what I'm saying about France apparently has been going on for a while, you know. Wait, really? That was only enough for 5th? That's a little bit fucked up. Well, at least I'm pretty sure I have a better lap time than the guy behind me that is the one that has the point, so... As long as it keeps being a 5th, I should be fine. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that for some reason France was always like a common target for people to make fun of. It seems a little bit weird to me. It's fine. I mean, it happens. I guess at the same time in recent years there were multiple other countries that people also find popular to make fun of. I think another big example in recent years is India. It's the way it is. Sometimes people just target random stuff because they feel like it. They can have reasons to do that. You can have reasons to make fun of literally any country on earth. You know, that's the thing. So this will be a very bad lap time, unfortunately. Oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, that's bad. Because that Frederick Schützen or whatever, if I win and he gets second, it will only be a tie. That kinda sucks. A lot. Oh, and this one is Barcelona. That's even worse. God damn it. Yeah, this sucks. French people tend to act superior towards other people. Well, I don't know. Maybe. But... I mean, you can also say that about many other nationalities, you know. Like, the thing is that a lot of the things that some nationalities are being made fun of, many other nationalities are of course guilty of it, because it's not something that is specific of a nationality. It's just simply human behavior, right? For better or for worse. So yeah, it's just something that happens. I personally try not to go there. Like, when I say go there, I mean making fun of nationalities, because I mean they can easily make the same thing to me, and I know that I wouldn't like it. Not because I feel proud of the shithole of a country I live in, but because it's not my fault, you know. I was simply born here. It's the way it is. And I think that I do a good job at being like an upstanding citizen or whatever, at trying to live a normal life. So even though I do agree that my country is a piece of shit. I wouldn't like those things being said by extension about me, you know? So yeah, just one of those things. Hey, at the same time, it's whatever. Not like I will get all offended and shit. I just simply wouldn't welcome it. Also, I don't welcome how bad I'm apparently doing this lap. But why am I doing it so? I feel like I'm not doing it that much slower than the previous one, but the game heavily disagrees. Is it because of the slipstream? Probably. But means that with this result, I'm definitely not winning. It might have been the slipstream after all. Then that's a huge difference. Promise that if I restart this, not gonna make much of a difference, and here I don't think I will get enough points to beat the guy that is actually in the lead here. And judging by how this is going, I'm not gonna get a good lap time here either, so I mean, I want to go to the end to see if by some miracle this is enough to win the championship, but it doesn't look like it is. It's quite the opposite, actually. Hey, I gotta assume that I got that good lap time because of slipstream and nothing else. Because otherwise it makes no sense that I'm doing so much slower now. Okay, let me see the final result. Oh, it's actually enough to win. Oh, it's because the guy that was on the lead got 0 points. Then that's pretty nice. I'll take that. Damn, that was pretty close. I think that this was one of the closest championships that I got, which makes sense in the fact that it's a time attack, so it obviously is way more balanced than, you know, other stuff. Okay, so let's not do this one, but I'll instead... Damn, and they use Sepang again here? Fuck, dude. How about you don't use that? How about we don't go to Sepang? At least not with this car. I mean, it's probably not a good idea with any car, but with a car like this that is one of the fastest cars in the game, having to go that fast and then immediately brakes fucking sucks. Okay. Took that guy out. Like, for example, tracks like this also have those sort of long straights into sharp corners, but they are not that numerous, I guess. Oh, that wasn't a skip, but the fucking sausage there. God damn it. Why do they even put those things in there? Like, I get it's to, you know, not incentivize people to go there, but like, you're just asking them to get killed instead. It's like just adding, like, I don't know, a flame circle that you need to jump over so that way you don't go off the intended path. Like, come on, dude. Like, are you trying to make me go through the intended path, or are you trying to kill me? Because that's what these sausages basically do. But, you know, for real, like, trucks that have those sausages are very fucked up. Because really they are a safety hazard. Like putting that there is just asking the drivers to risk their life for no reason. I mean, not to mention that that's the reason why they are supposed to be, you know, races towards, right? They are supposed to say if someone needs to get penalized or not. So what even is the point of those sausages? Like, yeah, if you go too inside and you skip the corner, you're gonna get penalized. And I don't mean just in this game, I mean in real life. Like, why do you want those gigantic pieces of shit when you will get penalized anyways, right? Like, what's the point? But I never understood that, especially with how racing tries to be safer and safer every year, understandably so. I mean, we don't want to have people dying. And yet those sausages are still legal. Why are they legal? They shouldn't be legal. If a truck has them, it should be completely closed off. Like completely banned from racing. Like, until you remove that shit, you cannot race here. You see, it really is something that is there to kill people. It doesn't serve any other purpose. Because one thing is the pianos, that even though for some cars is more, like they are more inconvenient than others, for the most part pianos are a good way to delimit the track, because the alternative will be like stepping on the grass and losing control even worse. So the pianos do a good job at being like, hey, this is the limit, you know, like let me help you not step into the grass, right? But sausages don't help you do shit. Like, they help you die, and they do a very good job at that, but that's the thing. I think I don't want help doing that. Right, at least this is the short version of Sepang. I mean, you still have to deal with long straight into corner, but it's less painful. I'll take it.
All right, good luck out there.
Thanks.
Listen, just stay out of their way. Let things cool down.
Ah, fuck off. I just hope that at least every time that the Formula 1 car gets used, that we don't have to always go through Sepang.
If you need info.
Though my question is, will I prefer this or will I prefer Okutama? No, I definitely will prefer Sepang. Anything is preferable to Okutama. With Barcelona, I'm not so sure, because I think at Barcelona there are lots of corners that with this thing I could probably do a lot more easily. Like, it wouldn't feel like such a painful track. With Okutama, even though some corners will also be easier, I think that it's still the same death trap that it always is. Doesn't seem like this is gonna be that good of a result, unfortunately. Well, who knows? I might be able to reach those guys.
2 laps down, and you're in third.
Barcelona is less terrible to drive, but the racing is awful, almost impossible to overtake. Yeah, that's the issue. Like, there are many urban tracks that have that problem because obviously they are not places that are made for racing. Like, these are supposed to be regular streets that are arranged as a racing track, but they are not very wide, obviously. So yeah, that is a common problem, though. The thing is that there are other urban tracks in this game that are pretty wide. The best example being Cuba tracks, like... Oh, no way! That counted... Okay, you are full of shit. You're full of shit because I went through the outside of that marker. Like, that's the whole point of that marker, to show you where off-track is and where it isn't. You just completely scammed me. Well, not like it matters, because I fucked up anyways. Why the fuck did that happen, dude? Like, what's the point of that marker? Is that just decoration? Like, the whole point of those markers is to mark what's inside and what's outside. Piece of shit. The circuit itself, but still urban tracks suck. Oh, you meant the Barcelona track, the one that is an actual circuit. Yeah, that one I didn't really play. I think many games that have that, or any for that matter. I did see it. Damn, track limits again, dude, really? You just gonna make shit up now? Piece of shit. I was out to say that... yeah, I don't think I ever played on that track. I think a lot of people don't like that track either now that because I remember watching a streamer from Spain that you would think that, well, he's Spanish, so he's gonna be proud of the Barcelona track, but no, I don't think he's a big fan at all. So yeah, I think that tells me that it's probably not a very good track if even someone from Spain is not particularly proud of it, you know? Every attempt I'm doing worse and worse, dude. How is that possible? As long as I can get 4th place, I think I'm okay. Which is pretty sad to be okay with 4th place, but I just wanna get past Sepang, you know? That's what I want. That guy was already my nemesis. Spaniards are generally anti-Spain by themselves, so I'm not surprised about that. Well, I think that ironically most people are anti the countries they are from, usually because the government is trash. And since government being trash is a widespread phenomenon, I think most people are not very big fans of their countries in general. Especially if we're talking about Europe. Europe is full of politicians that hate Europe. So it's not a surprise that people are not proud of their countries, I guess, when they are taken to the direction they are taken to. And in my case, it's like that. Not again. Okay, that's fine. 4th place, I'll take it. I'll take the 4th place, I don't care. Yeah, I was already ready to take the 4th place. Well, in Spain they do have the problem that there are many areas that want to be considered independent and they kinda clash with other places. So yeah, Catalonia that wants to be its own thing, wants to be independent, but it isn't. And people outside of that don't want it to be independent. So there tends to be a lot of tension there. It happens. But I still think regardless of the situation of territories that want to be independent or whatever, I do think that there is a general dissatisfaction with the way politicians are driving many countries, which tends to generate a feeling of rejection in a lot of the people that live there. And in my case, it's the perfect example. Like, there are many things I hate about this country, but the politicians are probably one of the worst things about it. But the thing is that the politicians are bad in general, because people in average here are pretty bad. Like, the average Argentinian is not a good person. Like, the average Argentinian is a scammer at best. You know, calling it a scammer is it's kind of like a cute way of saying it. Basically, people are all about being by themselves, and they won't hesitate to screw you over if that means they get benefited. That's mostly what the general mindset here is, so it's not a surprise when politicians do the exact same thing, you know? They are simply acting like the culture here pushes you to act. They just basically take advantage of anything you can, and if you can get away with it, hey, you're a genius. If you can get away with shit like that, you deserve a prize. Like, you deserve what you're getting, right? Like, whatever advantage you're taking, you fully deserve it because you were, like, quote-unquote smart enough to take it. That's the sort of mentality that exists here. So when politicians are like that, it's like, well, yeah, people are also like that. Not all of them, of course. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself to be like that. I want to believe, maybe I am like that and I don't realize it, but I want to believe I'm not. The point is that it's the reason why I don't like this country. Yeah, it's fine. And I'm pretty sure multiple people here think the same. Well, what I'm sure is that a lot of people hate the politicians here, regardless of if they think that about the culture and whatnot. What I'm pretty sure they share in common with me is that they hate our politicians. Like, our politicians are so bad that it's a miracle that a revolution hasn't happened yet. It's a phenomenon that I think a lot of people call the slow boiling, right? Like a frog being slowly boiled alive. The frog doesn't realize because the temperature rise is so gradual that until it's too late it doesn't realize it's being cooked alive, right? I think that's how a lot of people describe the situation here, and the reason why a revolution never happens is because lots of times you're getting screwed over very slowly. Like, you're getting screwed over, but it's such a slow process that sometimes feels like nothing is happening. But in reality, you're just gradually being screwed over constantly, over and over again. But it's not like shocking enough. Also, something that I probably should mention is that something close to a revolution did happen here in 2001. It's just that I wouldn't call something like that a revolution, because it didn't change shit. Like, yeah, it took the then president out, but that's not really a revolution.
Push to the front.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
They won't be happy with that.
Damn, dude. I'm getting so fucked by everything right now. Not just the politicians. God damn it. Why does it have to be this way? Track limits. Of course. Track limits. Alright, this is the last race I'm doing, by the way. I think that I got trigger enough.
Keep them intact for the duration.
Not to mention that if I were to do another event, I probably would take longer than I want to. I think that happens in most countries we all fucked. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was kinda saying earlier, that I think that most people in their own countries tend to be like anti their own countries because politicians act directly against the interest of the population. So it's like, what is there to be proud about? Because even if the government doesn't define the country is way more than just the government, obviously. But when you live inside one, it's like, it is a very big deal, whatever the country, whatever the government decides to do. And when you realize how they are getting away with everything without any stop, it's like you start feeling hopeless about the country. But yeah, as you say, it's something that is not exclusive of any particular country. It happens in lots of them. Basically, the biggest issue is that politicians are modern kings. So it's, as always, a class battle. A battle between like the people that have to work to survive and the people that don't have to work to survive. Basically, the royalty sitting on their asses laughing at the peasants working, and well, the peasants working, and that's not a bad thing, right? Like, not a bad thing to work. The problem is when you have people that don't work and actively make your life worse on top of it. Like, they don't do shit, but also they make your your life quality worse. That's the real issue. And politicians are essentially that other side. Well, millionaires in general. It's just that politicians are the worst type of millionaires. I don't think there is a millionaire as rancid and putrefied as a politician. So yeah, they are essentially the enemy of anyone that... of any common person, really. Maybe it might be an exception in a specific country that I don't know of, it's possible. But in most countries they are the enemy of their own country. This is the funny thing. It's what happens when you have so much money, so much power, so much influence. You are untouchable. Just like kings used to be back then. But the difference is that back then, technology was not advanced enough to keep the peasants out if they get pissed off. Nowadays technology went to such heights that yeah, the people at the top can do whatever they want and get away with it. And there's not much you can do. It kinda sucks, but it is what it is. I think the smartest thing to do is to just, you know, try as much as you can to just, you know, be happy with what you can, right? With what you have. Which is what I do, or at least I try to do. Just that when I think about those that don't do shit and still try actively making your life worse is very infuriating. But yeah, it is whatever. Alright, so I think I'm gonna leave it here. I'm very tempted to do this. Actually, I'm gonna do this, fuck it. And I'm gonna use the grid edition. And I wanna do this for the simple fact that I don't wanna do this tomorrow. That's the only reason. I don't have any other reason other than I don't want to start the stream tomorrow and have to do this shit. Now, I don't promise that the same thing that happened earlier today won't happen again, which is basically spinning out on the last corner on the final lap. Like, yeah, that might easily happen, but I will take my chances. I will take my chances. If it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and we get rid of this event. So I will aim for the later. Unfortunately, I think that when you don't get into second place or similar early on, it's not gonna happen afterwards. That's the problem. So this 5th place might be all I can do here. We will see though. Also, I kinda doubt that this car is any different gameplay-wise than the other one that you purchase. I will assume there is no different outside of the skin. I mean, I don't see why there would be. Pretty sure that all of the grid edition cars are like that. In fact, isn't the only benefit the fact that you get more experience or something? I think that's it. I don't think that you get anything else. Well, yeah, and the skin looking the way it looks. Some of them are pretty nice. This one is whatever. I wouldn't really call this skin nice. I mean, I like Formula cars that look dark like this, but it's like nothing special, especially because it's supposed to be called the grid edition, and well, yeah, I see that it says grid on like that high part of the car, but I feel like it's not enough to really paint the car as, oh yeah, this is the grid car, right? This is the official car. Like, not really, it just looks like any other. Right, surprisingly here I'm actually taking positions and I'm getting closer to the leader as well. Wonder how long this is gonna last, but I actually like that I'm not simply resisting by blocking the guys behind me. Like, I'm actually following. Like, I'm actually actively racing against my opponent, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and one of them is my teammate, the guy in second place. The guy that now... No, he's still in second place. Close. Close to not be, but, you know, he's still there.
On to lap 3. You got 2 drivers between you and first place.
Yeah, I'm actually getting close to the first place. Not to mention that being this close also helps me helps me more or less follow his racing lines. Well, and now I won't anymore because I'm in front of him. So this, I mean, as I say, ironically getting first place in tracks like this can be a problem because I might not be able to read the corners properly, like I did right there, by the way. As soon as I mention it, as soon as it happens. Yeah, I'm not very good at reading some tracks, and this is definitely one of them, especially when you have a car like a Formula 1 car. Like, you know, the Formula 1 car is extremely responsive, and that's the reason why you are asked to do this as fast as possible, because the car can handle it. But the thing is that mentally you also need to handle it by knowing exactly where to brake and shit like that. And I'm not that good at that. No, don't spin out again. No, like that's the thing, I gotta mentalize myself that spinning out on that final corner is not rare. Obviously you don't want it to happen, but it can happen at any time, so don't try to be like, nah, this time it's not gonna happen. Like, no, it most likely will happen, so try to be as careful as possible. The issue is that if I do that very slow, the guys behind me will probably collide against me and cause me to spin anyway, so that's the issue. It's like, there aren't many things you can do to win. Well, to win, I mean to get out of that situation in a good way. But yeah, I'll try. Just, again, remember that it already happened, that in one attempt I got to that final corner and I spin out. Like right at the final corner, right when the race was about to be over. I guess the difference is that now I'm in first place instead of second like I was in that attempt that I spin out, but that doesn't make a difference. I wouldn't have minded a second place here anyways. Problem is that if I spin out, it's not gonna be a second place. It's gonna be all the way back to last. Okay, full focus. Okay, extremely careful, but this time it worked. Nice. Good, I like that, I like that. And there is only one more race, I think, in this tournament. It's probably gonna be as long as this one. Oh, then again, this one was 6 minutes and a little, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so the next one is in Brands Hatch, the normal version on daytime. So, okay, that's good. That's pretty good. Wasn't expecting you to give me such a straightforward race after that Sepang thingy. Then again, the Sepang race was also straightforward. It just so happens that, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the track, but it was straightforward. I mean, it was daytime on the full version on the regular path, right? Or at least I think it was the regular, like it wasn't the reverse version, I'm pretty sure. Also, since I got first place in the previous one, I think that just getting in the top 10 is gonna give me the victory here. Like, just getting 1 point is probably good enough. But we will see. I mean, that's the issue with these cars. If you collide against the wheels of someone else, you are most likely dead. Like, unless you do it parallelly, but that, right there what happened is that I kinda got stuck in front of his wheel. Also, there is an issue that, well, it's not really an issue because I don't really care, but the voices are like the voices are bugged. Like, you cannot hear the commentator. Again, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I wish he would shut up forever, but I'm pretty sure that's a bug. And you might be thinking, again, who cares if you don't care about the voices, but usually when a bug like that happens, not always, but A lot of times that might also signify that there is another bug waiting to happen as well. It most likely won't be the case here because it will already happen. I mean, pretty sure the voice has been out for a while. So yeah, it's most likely gonna be fine, but still, gotta watch out. Well, watch out, not like I can do anything about it if another bug happens, you know? Other than look at it and be like, oh, the game bug. Alright, this is gonna be a problem. I'm almost thinking of, no, I will quali. I will quali simply because I don't want opponents in front of me. Like, you can see that in a track like this and with a car like this, having opponents in front of you is like the opposite of what you want. Yeah. It's also a track that is tricky, especially when you're intended to do it that fast, you know. That was not a skip, don't worry. Not a skip, fully legal. So I might get the pole position here. It's possible. The problem is that these corners are the ones that fuck me up, that I cannot do fast. They are hard. I didn't lose that much time there, surprisingly. So what position do you have for me now? Pole position. Actually, pole position. Nice. Alright. In that case, no problem. Let me just quickly win. Though, as I say, it's fucked up the fact that when you qualify, you're the only one that is allowed to qualify. Oh, the voice is back. All I needed to do to unbug you is do a quali. Is that the case? That's pretty funny. But, you know, regardless, I was about to say that it's fucked up that when you quali, even though the other guys technically quali as well, it doesn't reflect on their starting positions. Like, it's still an inverted grid, so basically doing the quali makes the race even more free than it was before. Well, rather the championship. Unfortunately, I lost one position, and that one position that I lost made this fucking asshole get in my way in the exact same way as before. God damn it, dude. Should slow down a little bit, and I need to overtake him back. Promise that he is going fast. Just need to go faster, I guess. Ah, damn it, that piano always cocks me the same fucking way, every single time. Fortunately, the same thing will most likely happen in this corner again. No, because he was far enough. I really want to overtake you just so I can forget there's someone in front of me. That will be useful. That was close. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not looking like it will happen. Okay, this time it happened and I didn't get to the piano for it to cock me. Okay, If you can keep your speed up in this corner section, you should be able to stay in the lead and not have anyone bother you when you do the corners, hopefully.
Last lap, so hold the lead through to the end now.
That could have been very dangerous. Like, I went a little bit too long on that. Outside of that, I think that was a pretty fast lap. And ironically, not the fastest lap. Well, I did get the fastest lap of the race, but it wasn't that one. Okay, nice. At least I don't have to worry about this event tomorrow, which is pretty nice. Like, we get this out of the system, no problem. Alright, in that case, well, though the thing is that I didn't progress as much as I thought I would, though tomorrow I will definitely aim to fully beat this one, because, I mean, there are 10 events remaining plus the 3 on the top. You know that it's very possible that we might not be able to even complete it tomorrow. Hopefully we do, because so far this first DLC season has been pretty disappointing. I think the highlight is the fact that it actually uses the Formula 1 car, and the fact that they added the Paris track. But aside from that, it just seems like more of the same that you already saw in the main career. So hopefully at least season 2, if we manage to see it tomorrow, is a little bit more exciting. But in any case, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one and take care.